Tree maintenance, watering, fruit trees and tree crops. Fruit trees and tree crops must be regularly watered during the dry season to achieve good production and larger fruits, especially in the first few years. Here are some suggestions for watering. It is better to water trees with a lot of water every week than with a small amount of water every day, or two. This should be every. This will encourage roots to grow down further looking for water so they will reach groundwater faster. Use watering pipes. Water trees in the morning or afternoon. Reforestation trees. Try to water reforestation trees during the dry season, even if just a small amount of water is available. Even a small amount of water during the dry season will increase production and improve results. Swales can also help to catch and store water. Fertilizer. Plants use nutrients in the soil to live. Therefore, nutrients in the soil which are used by plants need to be replaced so that the plants will grow healthy and produce the best it can. The same is true for people and animals, but luckily trees don't have to eat every day. Fruit trees and tree crops. Compost, liquid compost, manure, and mulch provide many different nutrients and other benefits as well. The best place to fertilize trees is where the roots soak up nutrients. Underneath the outside leaves of every tree is the root feeding zone. This is where the plant's outer roots are and where the tree will most easily be able to use nutrients. A small circular mound surrounding the root feeding zone will improve watering and fertilizing results. This mound can be enlarged as the tree grows. Watering pipes can also be used to feed liquid compost directly to the tree's roots in the ground. Fertilizers which work best for fruit trees and tree crops are compost and manure. Compost and manure can be applied twice a year, just before the wet season starts and at the end of the wet season, applied to the root feeding zone. Add about a 5-centimeter layer, the length of 1 finger, of compost or manure, especially around the root feeding zone. This will provide many important nutrients for the tree. Liquid compost. For trees up to 3 years old, use about 1 gallon, 20 liters, of liquid compost. For trees over 3 years old, use about 3 gallons. Put some of it through watering pipes and some directly on the ground over the root feeding zone. Use once every 2 months during the wet season and only once in the middle of the dry season. Mulch. Apply mulch just outside the root feeding zone, closer to the tree trunk. Don't let mulch touch the tree trunk because if it does, disease or fungus could damage the tree. Leave about 10 centimeters of space from the tree trunk. Use a thick layer of mulch to keep the ground moist and to improve the soil quality. If available, seaweed makes a very good mulch for trees, but wash it first to remove excess salt. Urine. Urine is also a good source of nutrients because it contains lots of nitrogen and is constantly available. Citrus trees especially like urine fertilizer. Before applying on plants, urine should be diluted in a bucket of water. This can be applied more often for established trees, but not too often for young trees. Reforestation trees. Reforestation trees need less fertilizer than fruit trees, and fertilizing is most important when the tree is still young. On reforestation lands, the available nutrients are often not enough for plant growth. Good natural fertilizing techniques will replace these lost nutrients quickly. Natural fertilizing techniques which can be used include compost, manure, or seaweed. These can be applied when planting to provide some nutrients for the young trees. Legume trees are an important source of nutrients. Their roots provide nutrients, and the trees can be pruned up to 5 times during the wet season, which will provide mulch materials. These trees can also be used as pioneer trees and as mulch and nitrogen providers for other plants. Mulch. For reforestation trees, mulch provides many nutrients which trees need. After 3 years, animals can be carefully introduced to the reforestation land. Animal manure will provide fertilizer for the trees. Legume trees, mulch. Mulching trees. Mulching is an important part of tree maintenance. Mulch provides many benefits, including holds water in the ground and helps to keep the ground moist for longer, maximizes the benefits of manure and compost if mulch is used as a top layer, acts as an important source of nutrients for trees, improves soil quality by increasing organic matter and soil biota in the soil. Fruit trees and tree crops. Continuously apply mulch to trees. A layer of up to 10 centimeters or more will give the best results. To avoid fungus or disease, don't let mulch touch the tree trunk. Organic materials which can be used as mulch include rice husks, coffee husks, seaweed. It must be washed first. Tree cuttings, dry grass, and weeds. Even used paper, boxes, wood, and bamboo will make good mulch. Compost and dried manure will provide more benefits to soil and plants if they are placed under a layer of mulch. Reforestation trees. Natural mulch, such as leaves, grasses, and weeds, will quickly form into mulch if the land is not burned. This mulch can be collected and placed around trees. Legume trees and other trees can also be pruned to provide more mulch materials. Mulch will provide the most benefits if combined with swale systems. Rocks can also be used as a mulch, especially for dry areas, because they will provide extra water for your trees during the dry season. For more information, see the microclimate section in this module. Beware, during the dry season, mulch will burn easily and can cause fires to spread. Therefore, burning the land must be stopped and fires should be prevented from entering your land. Community participation and understanding, as well as using practical techniques, is very important. Tree pruning. Pruning trees is important for maintaining tree health and productivity. Disease and fungus can spread easily if trees are not pruned. By pruning, harvesting will also be much easier because the tree will be lowered to the ground and easier to access. Using the right technique to prune trees is very important so that the tree will grow back quickly, not suffer from stress, and be able to avoid disease and fungus. When pruning tree branches, use a saw or very sharp machete. Prune the branches as close to the trunk or main branch as possible. Make the cut smooth, angled, and not flat because a flat cut will increase chances of disease. For fruit trees and other tree crops, you can paint a layer of jackfruit sap on the cut. This will stop disease or fungus from entering through the cut. Fruit trees and tree crops. For almost all tropical fruit trees, it is recommended to only prune when necessary. Some reasons for pruning are to remove dead or diseased branches. By removing dead or diseased branches, you will reduce the chances of fungus and disease spreading. Cut the branches off before the diseased or dead part begins. The pruned branches should be taken away or burned to avoid spreading more disease. To allow more sunlight into the middle of the trees, this will increase fruit production and reduce fungus problems. Only prune if necessary, and don't prune the tips of all the branches, but only some of the longer branches. To encourage new growth on older trees. When trees have grown old and are not producing well, pruning them will encourage new growth and better fruit production. Reforestation trees. Reforestation trees need less maintenance and pruning than fruit trees. However, some pruning will help improve growth and quality. Some reasons for pruning reforestation trees are: to get firewood. Dead or diseased branches can be removed and used as firewood. Removing lower branches will make more room for people to walk around, for animals to graze, and to grow other crops underneath, like coffee and vanilla. Don't remove lower branches of windbreak trees because this will make them less effective. Legumes. Legume trees which are planted for mulch, soil improvement, or as living fences should be pruned back regularly. By pruning legume trees, you will be returning nitrogen back to the soil through the tree's roots. Prune back the trees until they are about waist height to make maintenance easier. Prune the whole tree evenly for best results. Bamboo. Bamboo grows in all areas and has many important uses for communities. Generally, bamboo can be split into two categories: clump bamboo, sympodile, and creeping bamboo, monopodial. Clump bamboo grows in tropical climates and is more common in our climate, while creeping bamboo generally grows in subtropical climates. Bamboo provides income, building materials, furniture materials, food for people and animals, fences, living fences, or trellises, windbreaks, irrigation pipes, bamboo charcoal for cooking, material for making musical instruments, material for making containers, material for handicrafts, and much more. The process of planting and managing bamboo clumps properly is the first step for producing high quality and easy to harvest bamboo. See culm, shoot, rhizome, root. Branch, node, node. Bamboo propagation. There are a few techniques for bamboo propagation, including rhizome propagation, using branch cuttings or using branches, and seedlings for some larger types of bamboo. The technique you will use depends on what type of bamboo you are propagating and what the bamboo will be used for. For drier areas, the start of the wet season is the best time to propagate bamboo. However, if enough water is available, propagation can be done at any time. Rhizome propagation. Rhizome propagation is good for small-scale planting because it has a high success rate. However, this technique is more difficult and takes more time than other techniques. Rhizome propagation works with almost all types of bamboo, but rhizomes of large species are usually too difficult to dig up. Therefore, rhizome propagation works best with smaller bamboo species with many rhizomes and culms. Rhizome propagation's steps. 1. Choose the bamboo rhizome and culm which you want to propagate. 1-year-old culms on the outside of the clump are easiest and best to use. 2. Cut the culm 3 or 4 nodes above ground level. 3. Cut again through the rhizome where the rhizome joins with the next rhizome. Usually this is towards the center of the clump. Dig the roots and soil about 10 to 15 centimeters away from the culm, so that when you remove the rhizome, the roots and soil stay attached. 4. Keep the rhizome and roots wet until planting or plant immediately. Wet the leaves as well. Keep the rhizome and roots out of sunlight. 5. Plant the rhizome about 15 centimeters in the ground and water well. Apply fertilizer and compost, then add a layer of mulch around it. New leaves and branches will grow from the bamboo, and at the beginning of the wet season, new shoots will grow from the rhizome. Sometimes new shoots will grow right away. Culm, pole, cutting propagation. Culm cutting propagation is better for large-scale planting and windbreaks because it is easier and takes less time. However, the success rate is lower. This technique is best to use with larger bamboos, which are difficult to propagate using rhizomes. Culm cutting propagation steps. Choose a bamboo culm with lots of branches, aged 2 to 3 years. Cut it as close as possible to the ground. Then cut the culm into 1.5 to 2 meter lengths. Cut off the branches and leaves after the first node on each branch, leaving only 2 or 3 branches on one side. 4. Dig trenches and bury the bamboo culms about 15 centimeters in the ground. After planting, cut the remaining branches at 2 nodes above ground. This will help you to see where the bamboo is planted. 5. Water every day for the first week. After that, water twice a week for 1 month. When the culms begin to grow new shoots, they can be dug up, cut, and replanted somewhere else. Branch propagation. Choose a few larger bamboo branches. They are usually at the top of grown bamboo. Cut the branches as close as possible to the main branch, about 1 meter long. There should be a minimum of 3 nodes on each branch. Plant the branches in healthy soil and treat the same as other plant cuttings. It is best if planted at an angle. Bamboo nurseries. Culm and branch propagation can also be done in containers, but rhizomes don't grow well in containers and should be planted straight into the ground. Smart ideas. Don't use the top 1/3 of each culm because the success rates will be much lower. Cut a hole between each node before burying or planting to help hold water. Growing high-quality bamboo. Every type of bamboo has a different quality and character. Growing different species of bamboo in one area will provide many benefits because the different bamboo species will fulfill different needs. Each person in a community can plant one type of bamboo, and then they can exchange the different types of bamboo. To grow high-quality bamboo, it is important to supply the plants with enough nutrients. And remember that bamboo plants are heavy feeders. Bamboo has root systems which grow close to ground surface. Because of this, it is best to give bamboo small amounts of fertilizer regularly. For example, every 3 to 6 months, rather than large amounts of fertilizer once a year. Exchanging bamboo seedlings. The best fertilizers to use are manure and compost, especially just before the wet season. The best manure to use is pig manure. It contains all the nutrients needed for bamboo growth. Applying a layer of mulch about 30 centimeters thick will also improve bamboo growth. When the plants are 2 years old, thinly sprinkle cement powder around the clump underneath the mulch. Cement contains silica, a mineral which will help the bamboo harden and improve bamboo pole quality. Experiments done with bamboo show that bamboo timber is stronger if grown on hillsides rather than near rivers. An unmanaged bamboo clump. Clump management. A properly managed bamboo clump will produce high-quality bamboo and will be easy to harvest. A well-managed clump of bamboo will have a range of different aged culms, including 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, and new shoots. There should be 6 to 8 culms of each age in every bamboo clump, which makes 24 to 32 culms of bamboo per clump. They should all have enough space to grow well and be easy enough to harvest. Opening clumps. A well-managed clump of bamboo will look open and healthy, which makes it easier to choose and observe which bamboo is ready for harvesting and which bamboo is still too young. An unmanaged clump of bamboo will look tightly packed and disorganized, making it difficult to choose which bamboo is ready for harvest. So there will often be dead or dry culms in the middle of the clump. These conditions will make harvesting difficult. The first step in managing a bamboo clump is cutting or removing all the older dead culms. This will be difficult because sometimes they are located in the middle of the clump. One way to do this is to cut into one side of the clump till the middle. Then cut out all the older dead culms. Cut them as close as possible to the ground. This will create a shape that allows us to harvest mature shoots from the center of the clump without damaging new shoots, which are usually located outside the clump. Thinning. Remove any damaged or bent culms and any culms which are growing too close together. If the clump has been harvested before, there will be many culm stumps. These stumps should be removed. Cut them as close as possible to the ground. This will make it easier to reach the middle of the clump. Branch pruning. Prune off lower branches to make clump access easier. Cut the branches at the second or third node to avoid fungus reaching the culm. Choosing and marking new shoots. During shoot season, choose 6 to 8 healthy shoots, located in a good position. Remove all the other shoots. This will encourage new shoot growth in the future. The removed shoots can be used as vegetables or animal fodder. The chosen shoots can be marked to keep track of their age. The bamboo poles will be stronger, harder, and more insect resistant if they are harvested at 3 years older or more. Mark the shoots by scratching a number into the shoots before their leaves grow. This scratch will leave a permanent mark. Mark all the shoots when they are about the same height. About 1 meter above ground level is good. For example, for the year 2004, mark all shoots with the number 4. The bamboo will be ready to harvest in the year 2000, so you will know that all shoots with the number 4 are 3 years old. Bamboo plantations. Bamboo can be grown near the house, on cropland, or as part of a managed system. A bamboo plantation is the most efficient way to produce high-quality bamboo. Produced from a bamboo plantation will fulfill many functions. It will provide shoots for vegetables, leaves for animal fodder, and bamboo for charcoal. The bamboo clumps can also function as windbreaks, living fences, and provide erosion control. Intensive plantations. Intensive bamboo plantations are plantations where bamboo is the main crop. The bamboo can be planted in rows with 4 to 6 meters between clumps and 8 to 10 meters between rows. On slope lands, the bamboo should be planted on contour. By leaving 8 to 10 meters of space between rows, there will be enough room to harvest and collect the poles. You can also graze animals between these rows. Mixed plantations. Mixed plantations are plantations where bamboo is one of many different crops. For example, a coffee plantation with bamboo functioning as living fences and windbreaks. Bamboo can be combined with crops of about the same height, like mango, coconut, avocado, jackfruit, timber trees, and fiber trees. The combination of plants used is up to you, but don't forget to leave enough space for harvesting bamboo. Animals can also be integrated into this system. Planting bamboo on hillside contours will help prevent erosion and stabilize the edge of a terrace. High-quality bamboo poles. Producing high-quality bamboo poles will depend on the following factors. Bamboo species, that's number 1. 2. Bamboo pole age. 3. Harvesting time. 4. Curing and storage. 5. Preservation. 1. Bamboo species. Some types of bamboo are naturally stronger and more resistant to borer insects than other types of bamboo. In Indonesia, that's where what this book is geared towards, Indonesia. The types of bamboo which are commonly grown and used include pitung bamboo, tali apis bamboo, gambang bamboo, item bamboo, ampel bamboo, duri bamboo, santong bamboo, tutul bamboo, and yellow bamboo. 4. Bamboo pole age. Bamboo poles should be harvested when they are at least 3 years old. For some species of bamboo, it is better to harvest at 4, 5, or even 6 years old. Tali apis bamboo is best to harvest after 3 years, but pitung bamboo should only be harvested after 4 or 5 years. If bamboo poles are still 1 to 2 years old, they contain more compound sugar, starch, which borers and starch insects, Dinoderus sp, like to feed on. After 3 years, there is less starch and silica becomes more dominant. Silica is a mineral which makes bamboo poles harder and more resistant to insects. Bamboo harvested under 3 years will shrink and crack easier and attract more borers and starch insects. Bamboo harvested after 3 years will be stronger and more insect resistant. 3. Harvesting time. The best time to harvest bamboo is during the dry season. Choose a time when new shoots are almost at their maximum height and have just begun to grow leaves at the top. At this time, mature bamboo will be in its strongest condition. A common practice in Asia is to harvest bamboo on the full moon. This is to help prevent borers in the bamboo. And the bamboo will contain less moisture during the full moon. Following this practice will produce better quality bamboo. Avoid harvesting during shoot season because at this time the bamboo are still feeding their young and will contain high amounts of water and sugar. Also, cutting bamboo at this time will damage the new shoots. 4. Curing and storage. Bamboo needs 4 to 8 weeks to dry before it is used. If bamboo is stored vertical, it will take about 4 weeks, while if it is stored horizontal, it will take about 8 weeks. Bamboo must be cured and stored in the shade, not touching the ground and out of the rain. 5. Preservation. Borers, fungus, and termites are the biggest problem with bamboo. You need to preserve bamboo to make it more resistant to these insect pests. It is also important to understand how borers work. Borers are small beetles which lay their eggs in damaged parts of bamboo skin. This could be at the ends where it was cut, where branches have been removed, or where the skin has been scratched. The borer eggs will hatch at different times, and the borers will then eat the compound, sugar, starch inside the bamboo. Therefore, borer attacks can be prevented with good management and by not damaging the bamboo poles. The first step in preserving bamboo is to reduce the amount of starch in the bamboo. The amount of starch in bamboo is lowest during the dry season and in older combs. This is why bamboo should only be harvested during the dry season and only after the bamboo is aged 3 years or more. The next step is to reduce the starch content even further. This can be done in many different ways, including clump drying. The poles can be cut and left in the clump for 4 to 6 weeks until their leaves have all fallen off. The poles should be placed on rocks so they are not touching the ground. The leaves will use up most of the starch in the pole, and the pole will dry slowly without any areas for borers to lay their eggs. Preserving with water. The poles can be soaked in running water for 2 to 3 weeks. The water will clean out most of the starch. After soaking in water, the bamboo poles must be dried slowly in the shade. Don't dry in the sun because the bamboo poles will crack. Preserving with seawater. For treatment with seawater, the bamboo poles can be soaked directly in the ocean. Tie the bamboo tightly to rocks so they won't float away with the tides. Don't let the bamboo poles lay exposed to sun at low tides because they will crack. Another method, which is perhaps easier, is to dig a pit on land near the ocean. The pit will naturally fill with seawater as you dig below sea level. With both of these methods, leave the bamboo soaking for 2 weeks. Afterward, remove the poles and leave them to dry in the shade. Tuha treatment. There is a type of plant called tuha, which can be used to preserve bamboo. Tuha is poisonous to people and animals, so it must be used carefully. To use tuha, make a solution of 1 bucket of tuha combined with 200 liters of water. You can use an old drum as a container. Short pieces of bamboo can be cured in the drum, and poles of bamboo, which have just been harvested, can be placed in the drum with their leaves still attached. The liquid in the drum will be drawn up through the pole to the leaves. Add more tuha into the drum as needed. Then leave for 1 week. After this time, remove the leaves and take the poles out of the drum to dry in a shady place off the ground. You can also use a tank or container made specifically for curing bamboo. This container should have a cover to stop rain from seeping in and children or animals from entering. Cut the bamboo in lengths and remove the branches from the poles. Put the poles in the container filled with 2-Ha liquid and leave for 4 to 6 weeks. Then remove the bamboo poles and dry them in a shady place until they will be used. If you use a water treatment first, then the 2-Ha treatment will only take 2 weeks. Oil and varnish. Finished pieces of furniture or crafts can be oiled or varnished to prevent fungus from growing, make the product last longer, and increase the value of the product. Preserving with borax. Bamboo can also be treated with borax, a chemical which will kill borers and their eggs. Borax is best to use on large amounts of bamboo which need to be cured quickly. This is usually for export purposes. Most countries will not import bamboo which has not been chemically treated. The way to treat bamboo with borax is to simply soak bamboo poles in a borax solution for 2 weeks, then dry them in a shady place off the ground. Beware, borax is a very strong chemical. When using borax, you should wear protective clothing and afterwards always wash thoroughly. Borax solution should be disposed of carefully. If the borax is diluted in water, the solution can be spread around fruit trees. Spread as widely as possible. This solution contains mild pesticide and herbicide properties. If diluted to 1%, 1 part borax diluted in 100 parts water, it can be used on vegetable gardens. Do not dispose of this solution in rivers or irrigation systems. Using bamboo. Building materials. Bamboo can be used for building houses, walls, floors, roofs, animal pens, and much more. Bamboo is a strong, lightweight, and easy-to-use material. Bamboo is also very decorative and can be used to make a house more beautiful. Furniture materials. Bamboo furniture is very beautiful and long-lasting, especially if the bamboo has been treated properly. Bamboo can be used for making chairs, tables, beds, wall panels, shelves, and much more. To learn and build furniture requires training, tools, and imagination. Food. Food for people. Bamboo is a highly nutritious food. It contains water, carbohydrates, amino acids, and many vitamins and minerals. Bamboo is commonly eaten in many Asian countries, and it can be cooked in many different ways. Some bamboo produces edible shoots, and other types produce shoots which are not good for eating. Some types of bamboo shoots which can be eaten include pitong bamboo, hitam bamboo, and teba tawar bamboo. In the wet season, new bamboo shoots will grow in bamboo clumps. The new shoots are the edible parts of bamboo. Cut the new shoots near the bottom where they become hard. The harder parts of bamboo shoots will taste bitter. The best part of shoots to eat is the inner parts, which are usually white in color. This part is soft, tastes good, and will be easy to cook with many dishes. Bamboo shoots can also be pickled, dried, or fermented to make them last longer. Smart ideas. Don't harvest bamboo shoots for eating until the bamboo plant is over 3 years old. Before this time, cutting the shoots will damage the root system and cause the bamboo to grow much slower. Food for animals. Bamboo shoots are also good food for animals, especially for pigs. Cook the shoots together with other materials, like cassava, sweet potato, leaves, and so on. Bamboo leaves and stalks are also quality animal food, especially for goats and cows, which will benefit from the silica content in the bamboo leaves and stalks. Fences. Bamboo is a common material used for fences, both as living fences and as fencing material. If used as fencing material, bamboo should be used for the crosspiece, not for the posts, which are in the ground, because if bamboo is in the ground, it will rot much easier. Living fences. Bamboo plants will function well as living fences. It will take a few years for the bamboo to become thick enough. So temporary fencing will need to be built in beside the bamboo plants. Bamboo living fences are good to use for animal yards, including for chickens, ducks, cows, buffaloes, and pigs. The bamboo will provide shade and food, while functioning as a windbreak. Bamboo should not be grown too close to vegetable gardens because the bamboo will soak up lots of water and nutrients and may give too much shade. Trellising. Bamboo can easily be shaped into just about anything, including trellising. Because it is light and easy to move, the trellis can be made in any shape to fit your needs. Bamboo is also decorative. It can add more beauty to your garden. Windbreaks. If bamboo is planted close together, it will eventually form a fence. Bamboo clumps can also function as windbreaks. Irrigation pipes. There are many ways to use bamboo for irrigation. Bamboo which has been split in half with nodes removed is commonly used for flowing and directing water. Bamboo poles can be cut into 1 meter lengths and placed in the ground for watering fruit trees and vegetables. Put holes in the bamboo's inner nodes to allow water through. This technique will conserve water and improve plant growth. Bamboo can be used as pipes, which are useful for many purposes. For more information about irrigation, see Module 6, Home and Community Gardens. Bamboo charcoal for cooking. Bamboo charcoal can be made and used for cooking as a substitute for firewood. The charcoal is made from pieces of burnt bamboo, arrowroot powder, and water. Bamboo charcoal will produce heat well, without producing a lot of smoke. Using bamboo charcoal is much easier than collecting firewood. For more information about bamboo charcoal, see Module 12, Appropriate Technology. Musical instruments. Bamboo is a good material for making many different musical instruments, such as flutes, wind chimes, and shakers. Containers. Cooking containers. Bamboo is traditionally used as containers for cooking meats and vegetables. Bamboo buckets. Large bamboo poles can be used to make buckets and watering containers. Bamboo buckets or containers will last much longer if they are varnished before use. Storage containers. Bamboo can be easily used to make containers for anything, such as containers for jewelry, writing materials, cooking utensils, plant containers, and even seed storage containers. These containers can be easily decorated, carved, or shaped, and can then be marketed for sale. The containers will also last a long time if they are treated properly. If the containers are used for seeds, the bamboo should be treated to prevent pest problems. However, don't use bamboo which has been treated with too hot for storing food, because too hot is poisonous. Plant containers. Small bamboo poles can be cut into pieces and used as seedling containers. Larger bamboo poles can be used as pots for flowers, spices, and houseplants. Don't forget to put a few small holes at the base of the container to allow water drainage.